technologies that will change your life by 2050. Before starting this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. 1. DNA computing. Life is far more complex than any of the technologies humanity has ever created. As such, it could make sense to use life's building blocks to create an entirely new type of computational power. Indeed, for all the talks of artificial intelligence, nothing beats our mushy insides when it comes to learning and making inferences. DNA computing is the idea that we can use biology instead of silicon to solve complex problems. As a DNA strand links to another, it creates a reaction that modifies another short DNA sequence. Action. Reaction. It's not a silly idea. Most of our computers are built to reflect the very organic way humans think. How else would we grasp computers' inputs and outputs? Humanity is pretty far from anything usable right now. We've only been able to create the most basic Turing machine, which entails creating a set of rules, feeding an input, and getting a specific output based on the defined rules. 2. Smart dust. Smart dust is a swarm of incredibly tiny sensors which would gather huge amounts of information, light, vibrations, temperature, over a large area. Such systems can theoretically be put in communication with a server or with analysis systems via a wireless computer network to transmit said information. Some of the issues with this technology are the ecological harm these sensors could cause, as well as their potential for being used for unethical behavior. We are also far from something that could be implemented in the near future. It's very hard to communicate with something this small, and smart dust would likely be vulnerable to environmental conditions and microwaves. 3. 4D printing. The name 4D printing can lead to confusion. I am not implying that humanity will be able to create and access another dimension. Only Rubik can do that. Put simply, a 4D printed product is a 3D printed object which can change properties when a specific stimulus is applied, submerged underwater, heated, shaken, not stirred. The applications are still being discussed, but some very promising industries include healthcare, pills that activate only if the body reaches a certain temperature, fashion, clothes that become tighter in cold temperatures, and homemaking, furniture that becomes rigid under a certain stimulus. The key challenge of this technology is obviously finding the relevant components for all types of uses. Some work is being done in this space, but we're not even close to being customer-ready, having yet to master reversible changes of certain materials. 4. Neuromorphic hardware. Now this is real sci-fi. Taking a page from biology, physics, mathematics, computer science, and electronic engineering, neuromorphic engineering aims to create hardware that copies the neurons in their response to sensory inputs. Whereas DNA computing aims to recreate computers with organic matter, neuromorphic hardware aims to recreate neurons and synapses using silicon. We're not really sure how far this idea can be taken, but exploring it is, if anything, great for theoretical AI research. Should say research go further and become actionable, you'll find me knocking on Sarah Connor's door. 5. Nanoscale 3D printing. 3D printing is still a solution looking for a problem. That's partly because 3D printers are still too expensive for the average Joe, and not sophisticated and quick enough for large-scale manufacturing companies. This may change over the next few decades. Researchers have developed a method that uses a laser to ensure that incredibly tiny structures can be 3D printed much faster, x1000, while still ensuring a good quality of the build. This method is called femtosecond projection TPL, but I much prefer nanoscale 3D printing because I'm a technological peasant. Use cases are currently centered around flexible electronics and micro-optics, but quick discoveries around materials, both liquid and solid, lead researchers to think that they will be able to build small but imagination-baffling structures in the near future. 6. Digital twins. As opposed to some of the other techs discussed in this video, this technology may not affect you directly and is already being implemented and will continue to be for a long time. Essentially, digital twins integrate artificial intelligence, machine learning, and software analytics to create a digital replica of physical assets that updates and changes as its physical counterpart changes. Digital twins provide a variety of information throughout an object's life cycle and can even help when testing new functionalities of a physical object. With an estimated 35 billion connected objects being installed by 2021, digital twins will exist for billions of things in the near future, if only for the potential billions of dollars of savings in maintenance and repair. That's a lot of billions. Look out for big news on the matter coming out of the manufacturing, automotive, and healthcare industries. 7. Volumetric displays / free space displays. If one cuts through the blah blah, of which there is too much in this space, volumetric displays are essentially holograms. There are currently 3 techniques to create holograms, none of which are very impressive. Illuminating spinning surfaces, first seen in 1948. Illuminating gases, first seen in 1914. Or illuminating particles in the air, first seen in 2004. The use of volumetric displays in advertising, the primary focus for this concept, may be either greatly entertaining or absolutely terrible because of potential impracticalities. You can imagine this easily by watching Blade Runner 2049. 8. Brain-computer interface (BCI). A brain-computer interface, sometimes called a neural control interface, mind-machine interface, direct neural interface, or brain-machine interface, is a direct communication pathway between enhanced or wired brain and an external device. If you start reading words like electroencephalography, you've gone too far into the literature. If that sounds like something you've heard a lot about recently, it might have a lot to do with Elon Musk and a pig of his. Beyond obvious and needed work in the prosthetic space, it's the medical aspect that would be most transformative. A chip implemented in the brain could help prevent motion sickness, could detect and diagnose cancer cells, and help with the rehabilitation of stroke victims. It could also be used for marketing, entertainment, and education purposes. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are currently dozens, if not hundreds, of technical challenges to wrestle with before getting anywhere near something the average person could use. 9. Flying autonomous vehicles. This one is easier to grasp as it has been part of the collective imagination for dozens, if not hundreds of years. Cars, but they fly. Obviously, there are a lot of issues with this very sci-fi idea. We're already struggling to stop people from attacking classical, autonomous cars, so the jury is still out on whether it will ever come to be. Another issue is the fact that much of our world is built for traditional cars. Roads, buildings, parking, insurance, licenses, everything would need to be destroyed and remade. It is likely that such cars will never see the light of day unless society crumbles and is rebuilt. 2020's not over yet. There are currently 15 prototypes in development. I'd bet that none of these will ever come to light, except as playthings for the uber-rich. But hey, who doesn't want to see Zuckerberg live out his midlife crisis in the skies? 10. Hyper-personalized medicine. This is yet another technology that is burgeoning today, but has yet a long way to go. At its heart, hyper-personalized medicine is genetic medicine designed for a single patient, making it possible to treat diseases that were once incurable, or that were too rare to be worth curing. In 2019, a young girl named Mila Makovic, suffering from a rare and fatal genetic brain disease, was offered a tailor-made treatment named Millicin, cute, to restore the function of the failed gene. Though she is not cured, her condition has stabilized, which is a big win. The development of such personalized drugs is made possible by rapid advances in sequencing and genetic editing. Creating a complete human genome sequence has gone from costing $20 million or so in 2006 to less than $500 in 2020. However, creating a drug still requires major resources, a year of development in Mela's case, and the mobilization of specialized teams. The question of cost, therefore, risks limiting the generalization of such treatments. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before